if you ask me, neurosurgery agency is hectic. Yes, it's brutally hectic. If you asking me कि Formula 1 race में मेरा accident तो नहीं होगा, हो तो सकता ही है.
Heard that you started preparing for USMLE also.
To become a neurosurgeon in United States, the time duration which is needed is much more. To leave medicine, pick up IS also.
And how was your MBBS journey or when you entered the medical school?
Except honestly that I was a good student in MBBS because I was the best graduate of my batch. Competition है, पापा का clinic है, तू बस कर ले पीड्स, अमृतसर आजा, रहने दे.
Also that lateral career trajectory even for doctors.
Zainab is one of the best examples.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of RetroMed Talks, and my smile will tell you that who today the guest of honor is. We have with us Dr. Ravi Sharma sir, and as you all must know him, he is one of the few doctors who I think has completed right his MBBS to MCh Neurosurgery at AIIMS Delhi. And also we have a lot to tell you about sir, but firstly we welcome you sir to this platform, and we are very grateful that you took out your time to guide students about this.
Thank you so much, Akshat. I'm really glad to be here. So you had tried a lot to contact me, but there have been periods that I have been unavailable. So first of all, an apology, but definitely it's great to see students going lateral and doing something interesting apart from just medicine. So it's great to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. And all the efforts that we took for this podcast are surely worth it. So, guys, as you all must be knowing, and you all fondly call sir as Zaru ke papa. So, a little about sir that sir, as I told, completed everything from AIIMS Delhi, and he also did a fellowship from AIIMS Delhi itself and joined as a faculty in AIIMS Delhi. After that, right now he has shifted to a corporate practice at Paras Hospital, Gurgaon. So today we will dissect going retrograde manner how sir's MBBS journey was, what are the lessons for neurosurgery residency, and in general for life. So let's begin, sir, with the question, and we would really like to know that when you were an 18-year-old student, did you thought that okay, I'll complete 12 plus years of my life at Apex Center of India? And how was your MBBS journey or when you entered the medical school?
So I am basically from Amritsar. So Amritsar is known for Golden Temple, right? So it was a good homely town. So I have done my schooling till class 12 from Amritsar only. So my per se, it's very difficult to say that yes, everyone has an ambition, right? So Amritsar back in 2007, 2008, when I was in class 10th, didn't have that much of support system as far as going to AIIMS or IIT was concerned. So in class 10th, after that, first of all, I took both medicine, biology and maths, but it was very difficult for me to balance both. So finally decided that, okay, you have to go for the one board. At that time, obviously, I won't lie that I did have an ambition that, yes, if I could, I would like to go and do MBBS in AIIMS. But in AIIMS, at that time, there used to be only 34 seats in undergraduation at my time in AIIMS Delhi, and there used to be only one AIIMS at that time in 2007-8. So seemed very difficult, obviously, but I was lucky also. I cannot say just hard work. In life, you just need some figment of luck also, being very honest. Sometimes a lot of people tend to be at the right place at the right time, but being prepared for the opportunity is what is more important in life. So opportunity presents to all of us, right? So, but you have to be prepared when the opportunity comes to you. You have to be ready for that. So that's hard about. So I worked hard. I got into AIIMS, and at that time I got in 12th rank all over India in my UG entrance at AIIMS. So definitely a dream come true. Okay, because from my city I was the only one who got into AIIMS. Like I knew only 3 or 4 people from entire state who were getting into AIIMS out of those 34. So because majority of my MBBS batchmate in that batch were from Kerala. So a lot of students used to come from either from Kerala or from Delhi, and only few people from other states. So yes, it was indeed a very special, it has always been a special achievement in my life because that is like a butterfly effect. You enter AIIMS and the rest of my life story already took place because I entered AIIMS. So definitely a big milestone.
Right. So now, sir, going back to your MBBS days, we have heard that you started preparing for USMLE also, but then due to many reasons, you shifted back to Indian PG entrance exam. So what was the whole scenario regarding your MBBS days and how you felt, as an MBBS student, and what were your thought process?
So I was a good student in MBBS, no doubt about it. I don't deny it because I'll tell you very frankly. When I went from Amritsar, Punjab to Delhi. So being at AIIMS was very intimidating. So being very honest that a lot of my batchmates were more confident than I was, okay? Because I was a small town guy, I didn't know how to talk to people. I was not very conversant with the environment and ambience and aura of Delhi. So a little, but I was always hardworking. I always, like a lot of people give credit to whatever I achieved in my life, to my intelligence and my memory, but I always feel that well, apart from being brilliant and intelligent, I feel more important in life is to be hardworking. If you're hardworking, you'll solve most problems in your life. And if you are not hardworking, irrespective of how intelligent, how brilliant, it generally, in the long run, the person who works harder than you will do generally better because he will be more perseverant to the roadblocks he face. So, in MBBS time, like it used to be generally that a lot of people used to go to electives in our sixth semester and seventh semester to United States. So I was selected for elective research elective in Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. So in my third year of MBBS, I went there. So it was a beautiful elective. My experience was very good. So I learned a lot of things at Mayo Clinic in my 3.5 months of stay. I went to Mayo Clinic in 2012 for around 3.5 months. So it was a very good experience. So till that time, I already had made up my mind that okay, USMLE is the best option for me because I loved the research culture in United States. And honestly, I was not very. Well, I didn't know what options I had in India at that time. Honestly speaking, I didn't know what I can do here. So by conventionally, I was seeing my seniors going to United States, so I was more focused towards that. And slowly, I hadn't completed my steps at that time. So I thought that if I want to do neurology, at that time I was not sure I want to be a neurosurgeon. I just wanted to do either neurology or neurosurgery. Like in MBBS, you like neurology, so you think either you want to become a neurologist. Though in longer term, you realize that neurologists and neurosurgeon do a totally different kind of work. So I wanted to do neurology, so I was working in neuroimmunology lab in Mayo Clinic, and my work was on neuromyelitis optica at that time. So what I felt after my 4 months of trip, so it's a very personal judgment, nothing against United States or USMLE, and then I felt personally for a guy like me, I felt lack of feedback there. I don't know why. Probably I was away from home. I didn't have much friends. I felt that system because after 4 or 5 months in United States, at least I got clarity that I'm not a medicine guy. I would like to become a surgeon. So that clarity came to me when I was in United States. That decision that I want to be a neurosurgeon came after working in neurology labs and seeing a lot of neurosurgeons in Mayo Clinic. I realized that I want to be a surgeon, not a neurologist. So, but the thing is, I realized that per se for me, to become a neurosurgeon in United States, the time duration which is needed is much more because getting a medical specialty in United States is easier. You can get neurosurgery, you can get orthopedics, but it generally takes 2 to 3 years of research job before getting into a surgical specialty. So first of all, that was a little roadblock for me, a mental roadblock, I would say, that I didn't want to spend time a lot in basic science research or clinical research before taking up residency. The second thing I felt that being a surgeon, you want to operate on patients, like so. I felt a little that I will be more confident in connecting to patients in my home country, in my homeland, than it will be easier for me to connect to people in United States. Well, this was a personal experience. Well, I'm not saying that everyone will have that experience, so people are doing very well as surgeons in the United States. But personally, I felt that the feedback I will get as a surgeon will be much more in my country. So I decided that okay, fine. Well, I'll pursue neurosurgery and I'll later go for fellowships if needed, but I'll pursue neurosurgery in India. So that was the thing. At least I got clarity between medicine and surgery. Though after that, I had a very brief phase for 3 4 months where I already thought that I will leave medicine, pick up IS also. So a lot of things were going. Probably you go directionless. No, actually, in life, whenever you see some of your seniors doing very well in life, someone getting a good rank, someone picking up IS, or someone going very well, even doing an MBA. So I had a lot of phases in my life where I was thinking that should I do MBA after MBBS, or should I do IS after MBBS, or should I stay in India, or should so a lot of commotion was going on because I thought that this is also good because you tend to see the brighter side and then you get demotivated by seeing the uglier side of anything. So eventually all of the dust settled by my final year, my internship, and I decided, okay, finally I want to continue to become a doctor only because eventually I took the decision not based on what I was seeing other people doing. So initially what happens is that you tend to chase other people. You would like to be like him or better than him, or you would like to be like her or better than her. This is when you start taking wrong decisions. So I also had a phase where I was totally confused from my third year to my fourth year, 2 years in my MBBS. I was totally confused. I had explored all options: MBA, IS, PG, USMLE. Then I realized that okay, fine, you choose what suits your personality best. So I chose to stay back in India because I needed a lot of people connect, which I was good. I love talking to people. So that connect was more in India, definitely. And I wanted to be a surgeon. So that connect was also more in India. And eventually I decided that for me, I'm kind of person who would like to be a surgeon than to become an IS officer. Or so that was a personal choice because it suited more to my personality. So that is how I finally made a decision. I think so in April of my internship that finally I'm gonna give NEET PG. At that time I gave AIIMS entrance, NEET PG, so I didn't appear for, but yes, the upcoming AIIMS exam I'll give. I took the call in my April of my internship for November AIIMS at that time, because INI never used to happen at that time. So a turbulent ride, but yes, I think so. Everyone goes through that uncertainty phase in their MBBS times.
Right. I think this was a very important point, and also students will learn कि this happens to everyone, because in general तो यही लगता है कि यार एम्स में जो है वो तो काफी sorted है, and you being
No, it happens to so
right.
many people. I know so many people who, of my colleagues, my juniors, my seniors, who did MBBS, then did MD or DM from AIIMS, then went to United States even at the age of 30, 35. See, that is what you need to understand, that in life it's not a linear trajectory always. You can't always walk on one particular path, right? So you will be a different person today and 5 years from now, generally, because the life will brush you in a different stroke. So you keep on changing, your viewpoint keeps on changing. What you need today might totally become irrelevant after 5 years. So that happens. So it's okay. If you're confused, it's okay. Everyone is confused. Everyone tries to find meaning in their life. That's what it is.
Right. So I think this is a very great point, sir. And ultimately, we all should remember that hard work is the only key. आपको जो भी option अच्छा लगता है, just make sure you work hard, and then you can surely excel in it. So sir, this was one of very interesting scenario you told in your BTR class कि आपके साथ result celebrate करने के लिए उस समय कोई भी नहीं था, because जो आपका rank आया था आपके friends का उतना नहीं आ पाया था. तो how important you think, like you even said, people connect is very important for you also. So what life lesson that single day gave you?
First of all, in my internship, me and Zainab were studying together. Okay, so and Zainab was a core PG candidate. I was partly a USMLE candidate, but though I accept honestly that I was a good student in MBBS because I was the best graduate of my batch. So I had studied my textbooks well. Okay, so and I thought that used to help me in my USMLE also later. So I had read my textbooks well. So I was not a core candidate for. So Zainab was preparing since third year, fourth year. So she was dedicatedly focused for clearing the entrance. So we studied together in an internship, and what life had in play, that what you can say is that I gave my first attempt while I was an intern, and I got the second rank in my first attempt without per se working for postgraduate entrance exam a lot. I got, and Zainab at that time got rank 98. So the person who was studying day in day out was very unhappy, because at that time 98 rank in AIIMS Delhi would get you either anesthesia, ophtha, or biophysics at that time, because there were only one AIIMS, right? So and 98 rank, neither you get peds medicine or radio, which was a preferred branch for her. So first of all, Zainab herself was not very happy on that day. And a lot of my close friends in my boys hostel didn't perform very well. So actually, when you and this question recently had someone asked me on DM also on WhatsApp, one of the students had asked me that he feels that it becomes lonely at the top. Yes, it becomes lonely at the top. It's obvious. It's for most people in life, right? So you might have a lot of fan following, you might have a lot of people to cheer you up. But when for very less people around to be, because obviously when you are achieving something, it's a natural human response that if you are people who are close to you, or they are not doing well, or they have not done well in a particular exam, so they are bound to feel bad. They are not feeling, it's not jealousy, it's just that everyone tends to think about themselves, that I could have done better. So it is very difficult for someone to celebrate with you that okay, you did well, but I'm not in a happy place. So yes, on that day it did feel a little lonely. I was sitting in my basketball court of my, so a lot of people all around the country were calling me for interviews because I got in the rank too. But obviously people who were very close to me, they were not very happy that day because they didn't do very well at that time. But I didn't take it to heart. So I am very logical about few things in life. It's okay. Like it happens. So I think so this maturity needs to be there if you want to be successful in life, that you cannot expect the entire world to be with you if you want to be very successful in life. There will come phases in your life where even people you love the most, your family, they will not be able to stand by your side. Either there will be no concurrence in what you would want to do and they believe, or they will fail and you will achieve. So people will not stand by you always. So it's okay. You need to master the art of loneliness eventually and be happy with that. And not that I lost all my friends who were not happy that day. They are still my friends. Zainab is my wife. So it doesn't make, I didn't take it to heart that people are sad that day. So you can have to take things with a pinch of salt and maturity, that it's okay. And you have to give them enough space to come out of that zone and accept that, yes, I couldn't do well. And I fully supported Zainab for next 6 months, because I was one of those persons who actually motivated her to give a repeat exam. Because when you are repeating an exam, see, it's uncertain, right? You got rank 98. Now, next time you get rank 150, what is the point of repeating at that time? So there's always uncertainty, but I always knew that she's not a kind of candidate who will enjoy doing ophtha, anesthesia, or biophysics. I always knew either she should take pediatrics or she should take radiology. And for that, repeating for AIIMS was the only option. So I convinced her, though I got a lot of backlash from my college life also that जैसे होता है ना कॉलेज लाइफ में कि इसका तो हो गया अब ये सजेस्ट कर रहा है कि हाँ तुम तो रिपीट कर लो तो funny things happen in college life, right? I got a lot of backlash कि रवि का तो हो गया, ठीक है, रवि तो जैनब के साथ ही पढ़ता था, but रवि का हो गया, fine. I don't take those things too hard. So I told Zainab that for her it's important to get the branch she likes, not settle for something. That is my general philosophy, because in the long term, that 6 months, 1 year, a lot of students feel this, that मुझे repeat करना पड़ेगा, मैं पीछे रह गया अपने दोस्त से. ऐसा होता नहीं है. Medicine is a very long branch. कोई कहीं पीछे नहीं रहता. Eventually, after the age of 30, when you complete your post graduation, you become colleagues with most people who are even 10 years senior to you. So don't be very dogmatic about कि हाँ मुझे 6 महीने एक्स्ट्रा लग रहे हैं, मुझे 1 साल एक्स्ट्रा लग रहा है. So what? आप वो करो ना जो आपको लाइफ लॉन्ग करना है. So you should not be very dogmatic about that, and that is what I convinced Zainab. And obviously, 6 months later, she got rank 1 AIIMS and rank 1 in maths. So it's good. I think so. I celebrated more on that day because she was happier on that day. So definitely, at least, and I felt okay, fine, that now at least no one can at least say that he didn't do well. Right? A lot of criticism went by in my college that Ravi did well, but Zainab didn't. But it's fine. I felt happy when she did well, and that should be because that is how good friends are, right? They can be unhappy about when they fail, but they should be happy when you are happy. So I think so that went well for both of us.
Right. Amazing, sir. That was a really good insight. So now we'll proceed further. That neurosurgery residency is, I think, one of the most demanding residencies, and that too, in such a busy center like AIIMS. So how were your days? Did you ever felt like I'm giving up? कि यार अब नहीं हो पा रहा है, कहाँ आ गया, बहुत hectic है. And how you survived this 6 years? Maybe शुरू का, in fact, 1-2 year is very difficult. So how was your residency?
So see, I don't portray a very rosy picture. So first of all, if you ask me, neurosurgery as a branch, it does not have a match. It is an exceptionally amazing branch. I still feel that I did the right decision to take it because I still, at the age, I don't know, I'm 34 years old. I still enjoy doing neurosurgery. For so many years, I'm still enjoying the case I do, or the case even I assist with my senior consultants and professors. So I enjoy it. So neurosurgery में वो नशे वाली बात तो है. It is addiction. So it gives you that high. So it's प्योर एडिक्शन, राइट? सो अब वही है कि अब मजा सजा भी है, ठीक है ना? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं किसी को न्यूरोसर्जरी लेने के लिए ओपनली ऐसे एडवाइस नहीं करता कि खुदकुशी कर लेनी चाहिए, बिकॉज एक्चुअली अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डू नॉट हैव दैट मच ऑफ स्टेमिना. टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, इट्स फिजिकली डिमांडिंग, इट्स मेंटली डिमांडिंग. सब लोग, इट्स नॉट दैट मतलब इफ आई से दैट एवरीवन कैन नॉट डू न्यूरोसर्जरी, it's not like that. I don't want to say that you're not capable or intelligent. It's not about intelligence. It's not about hard work. It is about whether you want to work that hard. A lot of people might feel that like in neurosurgery residency, we used to have duty almost every alternate day. So we are working like 36 hours, going back home, coming again in the morning. Like if I start my duty at 8 o'clock in the morning today, I'll probably get free tomorrow afternoon at around 2:30. And then the next, go back home, you've hardly slept a night, again you start. So 6 years, a lot of like, at least in a month, 10 to 15 duties used to be constant for almost the entire first 5 years of my residency. Okay. So if you ask me, neurosurgery residency is hectic? Yes, it's brutally hectic. It is brutally hectic. There's no, I don't want to portray a rosy picture about it, but that's how demanding the branch is, because your patients are thicker, your procedures are longer, most surgeries take a lot of time, even exposure takes a lot of time, closure takes a lot of time. And it is technically much more skilled. Most surgeries are done under microscope, takes time. Even endoscopic surgeries are demanding. So obviously it's a demanding branch. ठीक है ना? But वही है कि अब it's like you asking me कि Formula 1 race में मेरा एक्सीडेंट तो नहीं होगा, हो तो सकता ही है. So that is the price. If you don't want, तो आप अपना एक्टिवा लो और वो चलाओ. अब आपको Formula 1 ड्राइव भी करनी है और फिर आपको ये भी डर है कि मुझे इंजरी ना हो, वो नहीं हो सकता. So neurosurgery is like F1 racing, right? You'll get the high when you'll do well. You will have that God complex also, but it requires a lot of training for that. You cannot compare your life with someone who's doing radiology. So simply, like Zainab was pursuing radiology, I cannot compare my life with her. There used to be so many days in my residency that I used to leave home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and she used to be sleeping. आज Sunday है, आज तो छुट्टी है, ठीक है ना? और अब, and she never used to have so many night duties I had. There are endless night duties. I didn't come back home. So happens. There are so many duties. I've been doing OT for, let us say, 36, 72 hours non-stop without sleeping. So you cannot compare. So I feel if neurosurgery is a very good branch, but it should be taken by that person who is ready to make that much of sacrifice. Because not everyone enjoys that much of sacrifice. People start questioning their choice. So I am always very aware that if I am taking neurosurgery, this is the price I have to pay for it. So it's like, it's like if you buy let us suppose, if you buy a Mercedes or you buy a very expensive car, so obviously uska maintenance is going to be much more than So it's like the maintenance cost. So I was already mentally prepared to pay that and physically also. But yes, it is definitely gratifying more than like my father is a pediatrician. So obviously घर पे ऐसा होता है ना, पापा pediatrician है, पापा का clinic है, तू बस कर ले पीट्स, अमृतसर आजा, बैठ जाए. So but I told my father very clearly that मैं नहीं कर सकता ये वैक्सीनेशन यार, मतलब no offense to any pediatrician but I can't do it. नहीं, you ask me कि मैं रोज काउंसिल करूंगा कि खांसी जुकाम नेबुलाइजेशन वैक्सीनेशन, I can't do it. It's not me. I want to do something which makes me feel कि हाँ यार, वो ऐसे भाग मिल्खा भाग ऐसा होता है कि हाँ यार, अपने कोच को बोलता है कि सर फट गई बट मजा आ गया. तो न्यूरोसर्जरी में ऐसा ही होता है कि पूरा दिन खड़े होकर बहुत बार आपकी बस हो जाती है बट हाँ आपको मजा आता है. किस दिन मजा नहीं भी आता है बिकॉज व्हेन देयर आर कॉम्प्लिकेशन, बट इट्स दैट हाई लो हाई लो हाई लो. So only for adrenaline junkies who are physically ready to put in that much of effort. Not for person who is not a brave heart and who's gonna question it. If you question it every third, fourth day, then you cannot pursue neurosurgery. And yes, first 4 months of my life, I did have a phase where I was very worried whether I was not worried that I have taken the wrong branch. I was so intimidated by neurosurgery in my first 6 months that I felt कि क्या मैं इतना अच्छा न्यूरोसर्जन बन पाऊंगा. मतलब obviously I think ना, when you see such big tumors in AIIMS, so complex cases, you see complication happening from very senior people also, so you feel that whether I will be able to deliver as a neurosurgeon in future or not. तो वो doubts obviously मुझे आते थे because obviously first year में किसी को क्या आ सकता है, अभी तो सीखना शुरू कर रहा है, तो आप अपने आप को ऐसे जज कर लेते हो कि जैसे you forget the journey you have to take. But then my seniors counsel me कि धीरे धीरे सब हो जाता है, तो you chill out. So eventually लाइफ में धीरे धीरे हो गया. आज के डेट में मैं भी वो सब कॉम्प्लेक्स केसेस कर रहा हूँ जो मैंने एम्स में भी किए हैं, यहाँ भी कर रहा हूँ. सो जो एक बच्चा सोच सकता है कि हाँ मैं कैसे करूंगा, बट ऑब्वियसली इट्स नॉट गोना हैपन ओवरनाइट, इट विल कम स्लोली स्लोली स्लोली. सो वो अनसर्टेनिटी का फेस ना सबकी लाइफ में आता है. बट हाँ, मैंने कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं रिजाइन करके छोड़ के चला जाऊं. There have been bad days where I have lost patients. There have been bad days where I have done mistakes which should not have been done, and I have been scolded badly also for that. But part of the process. That's how you learn. You learn from your mistakes. You grow better. But neurosurgery is one of the best branches. It is the branch I will not like to exchange with anything. It is still one of my the favorite branch. I'll never compare it to any other branch because जब अच्छा जाता है तो बहुत मजा आता है. So it's like a roller coaster. It's very good.
Right. I think this is मतलब the best answer one can ever find. नशे, जिस ब्रांच में आपको नशे लगे, जिसमें आपको मजा आए, वो आप परस्यू करें.
Neurosurgery is like addiction. You will meet most neurosurgeons. They will be very addicted to their work. They have to be very workaholic. They're addicted to their surgery. Now, obviously, sometimes you might feel that they're most narcissistic, egoistic, or people with God complex. But I think so that God complex and that narcissism comes from the amount of hard work that a neurosurgeon has to pay as compared to other colleagues, and the amount of feedback he gets after doing surgery. See, in neurosurgery, millimetric error in brain, millimetric error, you can land you in hemiplegia, aphasia. So your stakes are so high. अब ऐसा है ना कि मतलब जैसे हम एडवेंचर मूवीज में देखते हैं कि अब 1 in a million पॉसिबिलिटी है. तो इट्स लेस लाइक एवेंजर्स गोइंग टू वॉर. बिल्कुल वैसे ही होता है कि अब इसमें हिट नहीं होगा तो सब मारे जाएंगे, पेशेंट भी मारा जाएगा, आप भी मारे जाओगे. सो दैट brings that adrenaline rush. So that's what it is. It is for junkies only. So I don't recommend it for mango people who just feel very stressed out कि कैसे होगा, because there are days you're going to fail also. So that is a part of the process. There are days you're going to fail.
So sir, we have also heard that you have been quite involved in the research parameter also during your residency. So to all the residents here as well as someone who is enthusiastic about research, what will be your word about it?
So yes, I feel research is very very important to create a feedback cycle in one's residency. So first of all, this notion should go away that only if you take a particular branch then you can do research. Like when I was doing neurosurgery residency, a lot of people used to say that being a neurosurgeon sometimes it's time consuming. Obviously, you need a lot of time for doing research, and managing neurosurgery residency and managing research along with that is not feasible. It is more for people who are doing medicine, more for people who are doing radiology because they have more free time, but that's not true. You see, you cannot force someone to do research. It has to come out of passion. It's not like doing your thesis कि आपके सर पे डंडा है कि हाँ करना है तो करना है. वैसे नहीं होता रिसर्च. रिसर्च तो आपका इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए. और बहुत बार क्या होता है कि जेन्युइनली आपको कैसे पता है कि आपका किस चीज में इंटरेस्ट है. पहले तो आप वो चीज ट्राई करो ना. इट्स जस्ट लाइक हाउ डू यू नो व्हाट अ पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ फूड इज गुड और यू लाइक अ रेस्टोरेंट और नॉट. यू गो एंड ट्राई. सो आई थिंक सो एवरीवन शुड फर्स्ट ट्राई इट for research, at least clinical research. Basic science research is much more demanding, but for clinical research, yes, everyone should try to do something in their residency. And despite I had a crazy hectic residency, nothing to boast, but I wrote more than 120 publications along with neurosurgery. So if I can write 120 publications in my just residency, then people who are having a comparatively much more cooler branch, they can do much better. But what people need to understand is that you need to have some basic knowledge of statistics. to pursue research. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to you. And the best thing is, knowledge is now very freely accessible. You don't have to attend tens of courses to start and doing research. You can go to YouTube, search how to use basic statistical tools like Stata, like SPSS, like RStudio. So I generally recommend to my juniors in AIIMS that everyone should at least learn RStudio. It is amazing. And with the upcoming ChatGPT, it is much more easier to do it. And all the codes for R are mostly freely available online if you search on Google. So RStudio has a beautiful graphical output and it is an amazing tool. So which I generally recommend. And once a feedback cycle is set up now, that you present somewhere, you send something for publication and you get a feedback that it is accepted. So it feels like an achievement. And that one achievement will make you write another one, then another one, then another one. And in my residency time, I even built a research team with few of my juniors who were very good at it. And one of my juniors is an amazing illustrator, amazing. So I think so a lot of medical students are very good illustrators also. They have not just tried out. So they should pursue medical illustration also. So one of my juniors in AIIMS, who was in neurosurgery and is currently doing neurosurgery, is an amazing illustrator. So one of the best illustrations in the world, which have been included in our publications, have been made by her. So all this lateral, so doing research along with residency is actually going lateral. It is doing something beyond your daily redundant cut work. And it keeps the spice in that boring residency. Sometimes you feel your residency is getting boring. So that is why that research is very, very important. And I can assure you that if you are committed, you can learn it freely from various YouTube channels. A lot of YouTube channels exist. You just type the test you want or you type the basics. Even if people are doing a lot of meta-analysis and systematic review and all of this, you can learn sitting at your home if you are, and it will pay you. It will give you that platform to present, irrespective of the branch you take. So that is why it is very, very important currently.
Right. I think this was a very great insight, sir. And we will just stick to the lateral word also, that lateral career trajectory, even for doctors. So like even we all know Zainab ma'am has, been phenomenal in our teaching career so far, and she'll definitely be much more help to students going ahead. We have also heard Vidya Jeevan, which is an initiative taken. So how do you think, have you also started doing some lateral trajectory, and how do you feel it is important, not only just for, other things, but more of, like you said, it should keep you interested?
It's very important in life if you want to. So I'll start with your example. So what you are doing, so this podcast, this is going later. You are not being told in MBBS कि हाँ भाई path पढ़ो, pharma पढ़ो, medicine पढ़ो, entrance clear करो. So this is adding to your growth. This is adding to your individuality. So a lot of people do a lot of things later. Like Zainab is one of the best examples. So see, you need to understand that someone who is getting rank 1 in the country, someone who is pursuing MD radiology at AIIMS, does 1 year of SRship and then leaves AIIMS. Leaving AIIMS for people who have done MBBS in AIIMS is a heartbreak. I think so it was for Zainab also and for me also, because Zainab left it after 11 years, I left it after almost 15 years. So leaving AIIMS when you have been there since class 12, it's actually it's like a very bad breakup. So बहुत मुश्किल होता है कि उस चीज को छोड़ना ना, आप बहुत, it's one of the toughest decisions to take. But like Zainab took a decision to go lateral. Trust me, if she would have just been completed her SRship and done MD radio and then a DM and just doing run-of-the-mill job, she would not have been as famous as she is today, right? So going lateral, the problem with going lateral is that there is a risk involved. See, people like to do safe things in life. So when you take a risk, there is a chance that you might fail in life. Always there's a chance. And you will have to sacrifice something to pursue that risk also. But that is the advantage of going lateral. If you click, you will rise above most people. So obviously there is figment of luck, there is opportunity, there is your background which is involved. But yes, that is like taking the leap of faith. So going lateral needs a leap of faith. Like Zainab took a leap of faith and she created her space in the education industry. So she was very happy doing radiology, right? But there are every year so many people do MD radiology. So if you want to do something great, you will have to go lateral. So similarly, when I was in AIIMS, I had already become a consultant in AIIMS as a faculty in AIIMS. Being in AIIMS puts you in a lot of comfort zone. And when I decided that I want to resign as a faculty in AIIMS, and I had worked, I'll tell you very frankly, I worked very hard during my residency, 6-7 years to become a faculty in AIIMS at a very young age. So after joining a faculty on a permanent post in AIIMS and leaving AIIMS after 1.5 years, it might sound stupid to a lot of people, right? So why would? So one of the biggest reason of going out of AIIMS is because I was in a permanent government job. I wanted to do something later in life. And I knew that as long as I am in a government job, I cannot pursue lateral career trajectories, especially which involves business transactions and investments and all that. So I decided. So I took a risk. I said, okay, I want to pursue neurosurgery. I'll move to corporate sector. Obviously, in corporate sector is much more demanding as compared to the government sector as far as timing and consequences are concerned. But I want to do something lateral. And Vidya Jeevan is one of the project which we are doing with Apurv sir, which is actually an experience center we have built for medical students where they can come do self-study and Zainab teaches there, and then we have a CBT here. It's not like a coaching institute. It is like an experience center. It is like people who don't get that ecosystem to study. And it actually built on the insights which I got from a lot of students talking to thousands of people over the last 10 years, which I realized that it's not that people, when they are during the entrance phase, they don't want to study. They don't have ambition. They don't want to work hard. They are just not in that frame of mind where they can perform. They are not into that groove. So people don't fail in their goals. Like it's a very famous line which I read in Atomic Habits is that you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And which is 100% true. If you feel someone is successful, it is because there's a system, there's an ecosystem which is promoting that person to function that way. So what I realized that a lot of students don't need content. They need that environment. They need that vibe. They need that system which makes them in a safe zone, a healthy mindset zone. And that is why we got that initiative in Greater Noida, which is Vidya Jeevan, which was built by the efforts of Apurv sir. And it is going amazingly well. It is going amazingly well. Like it has been life transforming for a lot of students. So to pursue that, I couldn't have done if I was in AIIMS. So I also thought that, and I took inspiration from Zainab, right? She went lateral and obviously she did great. So I thought, okay, fine. I don't want to. And she decided that she wanted to pursue education and teaching as a standalone career from radiology. But me being a neurosurgeon, I'm already addicted to one thing. So it's very difficult to give up your addiction, which you have been on for last 7-8 years. So I thought I'll pursue something lateral along with that. So that's why I did. So I encourage a lot of students that if you are good at something, don't suppress it just because you took medicine, right? Just because you're becoming a doctor doesn't mean you can't do something else along with it. Or if somehow you feel that you don't want to become a doctor even after doing MBBS and you want to do something later in life, go ahead, do it. What worst will happen? The worst can happen is you will try, you will fail. Okay. That you already know. But what if you try and you become successful, right? So as if you would have checked my WhatsApp status, it's that line by Michelangelo that the greatest fear for us is not that we aim too high and we fail to achieve it. The greatest fear is that we aim too low in life and get settled with it. So when you become complacent with what you have, कि थोड़ा है, थोड़े की ज़रूरत है, after some time it starts hurting, right? So if you're good at something, you should try later. And you, Akshat, are doing an amazing job, right? I've seen your previous podcast also that is going later. So people should take inspiration from you also, right? And a lot of people are doing a lot well in the field of being an influencer. A lot of people are doing a lot of startup work also. So it's good. It's amazing. And how do we really know that maybe 5 years from now, I might have to take an appointment to meet Akshat. So that's how life is. See, you have to do something different. If you'll walk in the same road, that road will take you to where it has taken almost everyone, right? Or even worse, because the competition is tougher in the subsequent generation. But if you want to make your mark, if you want to be remembered for something, उतना रिस्क तो लेना पड़ेगा. और लाइफ में गारंटी किसी चीज की नहीं है. लाइफ में गारंटी तो नेक्स्ट डे की नहीं है. लोगों को सबको गारंटी चाहिए कि जैसे ना मम्मी पूछती है कि बेटा ये करेगा तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा, ये करेगा तो लाइफ में होता है. ऐसा नहीं होता है. यू गॉट टू टेक द रिस्क. अदरवाइज यू लाई ऑन योर डेड बेड एंड थिंक काश ऐसा किया होता तो ऐसा होता. जब तक किया नहीं है. एंड a very famous thing which goes around on Instagram also, grass is not greener on the other side. Grass is greener where you water it. So आपको जहां भी आप lateral trajectory मिलोगे तो no one is going to give you a red carpet, right? No one is saying, okay, Dr. Ravi or Dr. Akshat, please come and take the stage. No one is going to give you even a lateral trajectory. You have to work your ass off. You have to make your mark. And you will face failures also. And then the world will say, भाई मैंने बोला था मत करिए. घर वाले तो मोस्टली ये बोलते हैं, भाई हमने बोला था मत कर, ये सुनता नहीं है लड़का, है ना? सारी नौकरी छोड़ दी. ये लड़का सुनता नहीं है, ये जिद्दी बहुत है. बट जब आपकी जिद कभी लाइफ में आपको कुछ अचीवमेंट दिलाती है तो सब आपके साथ खड़े होंगे. दैट्स द प्राइस यू हैव टू पे टू गो लेटर. Right. Amazing, sir. That was a really nice insight. So we'll just have a last question with you. Then we'll do some fun rapid fire to unwind the entire session. So what is the most interesting neurosurgery case either you have faced in residency or right now in corporate setup? So most interesting is like especially the lesions which are involving the brainstem, because we have operated a lot of brainstem cavernoma, brainstem gliomas. Yes, currently in Paras Hospital, Gurgaon also. Like other, we have a series of brainstem cavernomas we have operated. Very difficult cases and very risk covering. Brainstem is the most eloquent part, right? A small portion, but everything is controlled by brainstem. So yes, they have been very gratifying because our patients have gone home walking without a single deficit. And at Paras here, we have an amazing team, and my head is an amazing surgeon. So I feel that, yes, I still feel that maybe 10 years from now, we are doing much more wonderful cases. And similarly, our results for deep brain stimulation, like if you had seen a lot of my Instagram posts also, our DBS results have been life transforming because patients who suffer from Parkinson's, they are debilitated. They have very poor quality of life. They're hardly able to walk, manage the activity of daily living. And after a single procedure of deep brain stimulation, you have life transforming recovery. Only if the target is perfect and the programming is good. So, yes. So, you improve the quality of life. The same person who was struggling even to hold a glass of water, you can see him dancing in a party. So, that person who couldn't dance, it's life transforming. So that's why I say I wouldn't trade anything to be a neurosurgeon.
Right, that's amazing, sir. So I think this was a very insightful message. So now we will go with a fun rapid fire. So first question, if you could instantly acquire one skill, what would it be?
Swimming. I want to learn swimming. I have thought I will learn it with Zara. I want to learn swimming.
That's great, great. Now, what is your dream vacation spot?
Switzerland. Yet to go there.
Okay. So now, where do you see yourself in next 5 years? Interview question.
I see myself doing something great in a lateral world. So, like you asked me if I would like to trade myself, like a lot of phases in my life I have seen that I'll be a very good CEO. So someday, if I build something lateral, I will like to be a CEO of that company.
Okay, great, great, amazing, sir. Now, also, since you have long shifts and long duty hours, what is your go-to favorite snack?
Maggie.
Okay,
मैगी with चाय.
great.
मतलब वही मिलता था, आदत ही पड़ी हुई है उसकी.
Right. So, apart from Atomic Habits that you quoted, is there a book, movie, or show that changed your perspective on life?
Yeah. So I was inspired to become neurosurgeon because of a movie which is based on Dr. Ben Carson's life, which is Gifted Hands. It's a very short documentary type of movie, very inspiring. It inspired me to become a neurosurgeon. I saw that in MBBS. So that is one thing which I watched it almost a lot of times in my MBBS also. So very inspiring movie because it inspired me to become a neurosurgeon. And my favorite movie which has inspired me for life is Prestige. So it's one of the very famous movies of Christopher Nolan. So these are the two movies which have inspired me throughout my life.
Okay, that's really great, sir. And it was great to have rapid fire round with you. So now at the end, we would like to, just conclude, and we would really appreciate if you could give one of your theory, like you always, give a lot of examples, maybe the butterfly effect and so on. So one conclusive message that you want to share to the audiences.
So my conclusion is this: like in life, what you need to understand is that there are three different things. One is being determined, and one is being deserving, and one is being disciplined. Okay. A lot of people feel that they deserve a particular thing in their life or a particular person in their life in the person. तो हम सब सोचते हैं ना कि I deserve better. हम सब सोचते हैं. So this is the first stage. A lot of people are stuck at where they are constantly thinking that I deserve better. A lot of people start working and then start their face feeling when they are determined. So it's called as being determined. So from being deserving to being determined, then eventually when you actually achieve something, how do you achieve it? You become disciplined. So it is called as being deserving to being determined to being disciplined. See, growth in life comes from doing redundant things again and again, again and again. Like it's like how do people build their body in a gym? They go to gym, they have a specific diet. It is boring, it's monotonous, right? So actually the growth lies in the work you are avoiding. It is in that redundancy which people don't want to do.
Right.
Once you do it again and again, again and again, it's like practice, net practice, again and again when no one else is watching. You keep on doing it, and its cumulative effect over years gets you where you are exceptional. So I feel people should stop crying. See, जिंदगी में ना सबसे आसान चीज है रोना. सबसे आसान चीज है रोना. कि भैया मुझे कोई चीज नहीं मिल रही, कोई चीज अच्छी नहीं चल रही, लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, रो लो. रोने से कुछ नहीं होता लाइफ में. रोने से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. बिकॉज रोना बहुत आसान है, उठना बहुत मुश्किल है लाइफ में. So I feel that everyone is facing some difficulty in their personal or professional life. तो उसके बारे ज्यादा एक लिमिट के बियॉन्ड आप रो नहीं सकते. लेकिन यार लॉट ऑफ पीपल आई हैव सीन इन लाइफ, वो रोज ना हर दिन चाय पे बैठ के वही चीज का रोना रोएंगे, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे उसी वही रोना रोएंगे, चेंज कुछ नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज दे थिंक दे आर डिजर्विंग ऑफ समथिंग. बट व्हेन दे वर्क हार्ड दे फेस अ रोड ब्लॉक, सो डिटर्मिनेशन कम हो जाता है, बट दे आर नॉट डिसिप्लिन्ड टू डू द सेम थिंग अगेन एंड अगेन.
Right. Right. That was really amazing, sir. And I think, students really connected well with the entire session. And this was personally the best session for me since we started in 2025. So thank you so much again for your time. And we really would, like to do more podcast series. We done one with Zainab ma'am. Now, next time we would want to, to have both of you together, say after 3-5 years when you will be the CEO, as you said. And we really hope for the same. Thank you so much.
But yes, life gives me a chance. I like to be a CEO because I gave a personality test once. And people told me that I'm a perfect ENTJ. If you go and search on Nest, ENTJ is a perfect personality for a CEO. Then I started thinking in my life in reverse that I should have become a CEO of a company rather than becoming a neurosurgeon. Okay, thank you, Akshat. Great to come and talk to you. And I hope my suggestions have been insightful for you as well as for the audience.
Definitely, sir.
Thank you.
Definitely, we'll be right. Thank you so much.